me for just a minute. I've been moved to Omaha.
An inmate at the Douglas County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, press 9. Hello. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording of this call. Anything I need to know?
I sent your wife a message that you send your love. I got a big packet of mail from you that I scanned into an electronic file, and I don't know what to do with it, so I wanted to ask you first. And my phone's been acting weird all day, so I hope it doesn't disconnect on us.
Okay, that is some information that was sent to me that I'm basically wanting to let others who have recently gone through similar situations to see if it's possible to show it to them and see if they were asked to provide similar information.
Do you want it posted publicly or only for the purposes you just said?
Well, it's really only for the people
Okay.
who are dealing with the same situations, if possible, or somebody, people that can get it to them to see if they know if they're dealing with the same thing. Because I talked to a couple of guys here, and they weren't giving all that nonsense. I'm not fooling with it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird, I didn't read all of it, but it just looked like a bunch of strange forms. Like, why in the world would they want you to fill out all that crap,
Yeah, without getting into the various things, it's a proverbial trap. It's an anal exam. It's none of their business, and I'm not engaging in commerce with them then. I'm not engaging in commerce with them now. Anything else I need to know?
I can't think of anything, Mike. It's the same old crap. They're taking away our First Amendment and they're trying to take away our Second Amendment, and it seems like we're always on the verge of civil war, but it never happens,
Yeah, I'm just wondering why nobody in the Second Amendment movement can look at the fact that the Article 1, Section 8 only gives Congress the power to regulate commerce between the states, not between the people, and that 922 little g little 1 clearly says, if you read the thing, it has to do with interference with interstate commerce, which is between the states, and in the draft of that, it clearly says Congress had no intention of regulating anything to do with rifles and shotguns. It has to do with large shipments of pistols. That was the purpose of it. It has nothing to do with rifle. And I wish somebody could find out if that guy, what's his name? The chief deputy there in Furnace County that they claim he didn't get fired. They claim he quit to go to work for somebody else. But I talked to a guy here that was locked up there that said that the guy got fired because he got caught planting evidence on somebody, and the county got sued and he got sued, and probably even the sheriff. But Jeff Olson is his name. If somebody can look into, finding out if Jeff Olson got sued there in Furnace County or in some adjacent county. But yeah. Also, I was listening to this radio show the other day, and they were talking about, of course, there's a huge amount of Germans in this area. That's why it's such a police state. I mean, you got guys who are locked up for accusation of, one guy's girlfriend thought he had drove by her house when there was a protection order. Well, she couldn't be certain, but she thought. And so they arrested the guy. He's been locked up for 6 months on a thought. And then everybody that knew him said, well, no, that day he was not even there. But they have a word called schadenfreude. Apparently, that's a German word that basically references an individual who is taking pleasure in the suffering of others. So I'm thinking that seems to be the trend here. You got a bunch of Nazis that they take pleasure in the suffering of others, like that that guy, Trader, he apparently falls into that category. He's not about the truth. And, I look at words that are used in various cultures, and I noticed that in the Native American cultures around this country, there was no word in any of these nations that meant subjugation. The concept of enslavement was not in their lexicon. That word did not exist at all in the Native American culture. But that seems to be a European thing that they brought over here. They want to enslave everybody. It's a European Nazi construct that's proliferated here, and you got police states all over this country, and they're all about control and power and greed, and they're evil, and that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, it's absolutely insanity. I don't know if you heard of what happened. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I sent out a notification that was basically typed out that had a listing of all the things that I asserted, the Vienna Convention and all the other different things. I had asked somebody locally if they could try to get it filed with the county clerk, and apparently they couldn't. But if somebody's got that, and if they can, if anybody can get it maybe to the Secretary of State's office in this state and or any county clerk, they don't want that filed for a reason. There's a reason, and it has to do with giving them notice. Once they are on official notice that I'm not a U.S. citizen, that I'm not part of their corporate construct, that I'm not subject to their jurisdiction, that I have protections, that puts a wrench in their operation. So
yeah. What's preventing him from filing it? You said that he can't file it. Is there a reason why he can't?
Okay, I got a response back when I sent it to the clerk's office saying they could not file any common law liens, but it's not a common law lien unless they're claiming that I'm putting a lien on my body or my status, but that's not a common law lien. That's basically a notification. They're coming up with a basis that has nothing to do with what I'm doing.
I see.
It's basically a lie, which is what they're used to doing.
Yeah, I got you.
But also, if anyone has the ability to search either Tennessee law or federal law that has to do with overturning convictions or dismissing charges when the officers involved have been caught planting evidence on people in other cases, that triggers a requirement to throw out all the cases. Because in this case, you got Jeff Olson, who got fired or forced to resign for planting evidence, and in Tennessee, the pending charge of unlawful possession of a weapon from 2014, some 4 years ago. That case should be thrown out because Michael Green, the arresting officer, got fired a few months after I was falsely arrested, so I couldn't run for office. It's the only reason they did it. He got fired for planting evidence. But I don't have any way to do case law research or, none of these lawyers will talk to me about this stuff. None of them. It's a crime syndicate, and they're not going to expose the truth. They're loyal to their master, the British Accreditation Registry, and they are anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-freedom. It's all about lining their pockets and stealing from we the people. They're a bunch of rogue, corrupt people, and of course the original Constitution had the 13th Amendment that prohibited anybody with a title of nobility from being involved in any public office. Well, a barrister and an esquire are titles of nobility issued to all these bar card attorneys from the Queen of England. They're anti-American. Their loyalty is to their bar association and the Queen of England, and they're destroying this country from within. But apparently there's, it's a hard thing for people to wrap their mind around if they even care about it in the first place. You got so many people that are on the dole, and, I was listening to one lady on the radio today. She's fixing to retire at age 57 as a school teacher here locally. She's going to make $70,000 a year in retirement, and she's wondering if she can survive on $70,000 a year for the rest of her life.
Wow, incredible.
She's got $500,000 saved up in various investments, plus the school's going to send her, via the taxpayer, $70,000 a year for the rest of her life.
That's incredible.
the people are so stupid that they're sitting back and being raped sideways through taxation for bureaucrats. Now, the bureaucrats not going to argue. They're lazy. They want to get something for nothing. I mean, look, I worked for FedEx for a number of years. I know a lot of people that, worked there 30-some-odd years, and they don't have that kind of retirement, except maybe some directors. But the rank and file, it's because FedEx has to make a profit. Well, these cities and counties don't have to make a profit. They just go enforce a tax penalty, and if you don't pay the tax, they take your property. And if you don't want to get off your property, they come out there with a bunch of goons with guns, and they shoot you dead and take your property. You see how that works? Welcome to America.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely, they got this song that says, at least I'm glad to be born an American, or at least I know I'm free. That's the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard of in my life. I mean, now that I've become awake to what the IRS is and our judicial system, I mean, we're born into a system of slavery. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
If you have a chance, take a look at Ephesians chapter 6, 19 through 20. They do a little reading here every day where they read these various things, and I think that's referencing putting on the armor of God, verse 10 through 18 is what they normally read. I wonder why they don't read those last two verses, 19 and 20. But, the one thing they steer clear from is free will and self-awareness, and the fact that, God is in the first sentence of the Bible, and Christ is in the last verse of the Bible, and you don't see Caesar until long about Matthew. Okay, Pharaoh died off, Caesar died off, but yet they want you to be of a belief system that you're subject to constructs of man. And I think it's simple. You choose your master. You can only have one. I choose God. I don't choose, I'm not a Paulian, so
Thank you for using GTL